Your brain hates hard work. That feeling of staring at a blank page, or a messy room, or a tough project, and just wanting to do anything else? That's your brain fighting you. It's programmed to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So it craves the easy dopamine hit from scrolling through social media, not the delayed gratification of finishing a difficult task. But what if I told you there's a way to hijack this system? A way to make your brain crave hard work just as much as it craves that next notification. The secret isn't to fight your brain, it's to set up dopamine the right way. Let's get into the science of it, but don't worry, I'll keep it simple. Think of your motivation like a water level in a tank. This is your dopamine baseline. When you do something easy and instantly gratifying, like eating junk food or binge watching a show, you get a massive spike of dopamine. It feels great for a moment. But what goes up must come down. After the spike, your dopamine level crashes, falling below your original baseline. Now, you feel worse than before. You feel unmotivated, a little empty, and you crave another quick hit to feel normal again. This creates a vicious cycle. Your brain gets used to these huge, easy rewards, so the idea of doing something hard for a smaller, delayed reward feels impossible. Why would it choose to struggle for an hour to write a report when it can get an instant jolt of pleasure from a 30-second video? This is why after a day of constant small distractions, you feel drained and have zero motivation for anything meaningful. You've exhausted your dopamine system on things that don't matter. So how do we fix this? How do we retrain our brains to find satisfaction in effort? It starts with our first and most powerful tool, the reward after effort rule. This is non-negotiable. You must never, ever reward yourself before the work is done. This sounds obvious, but we violate this rule all the time. We tell ourselves, I'll just watch one more episode, then I'll start studying. Or, let me quickly check my emails before I go to the gym. What you're doing is giving your brain the dessert before the main course. You're getting that dopamine spike up front, which completely kills your motivation to do the hard thing you planned. Instead, you need to flip the script. The work itself becomes the gatekeeper to the reward. Tell yourself, after I finish this chapter, I can enjoy a cup of my favorite coffee. Or, once I've completed my workout, I'll allow myself 15 minutes of guilt-free scrolling. When you do this, something amazing happens. Your brain starts to associate the effort with the upcoming reward. The dopamine release starts to get tied to the process of working, not just the prize at the end. The anticipation itself becomes motivating. You're teaching your brain that effort is what leads to pleasure. This simple shift is the foundation for building unbreakable focus and discipline. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. It's great, but my biggest problem is just starting. Task feels so huge and overwhelming. This is where our second tool comes in, the 5-minute activation. The initial friction of starting a difficult task is where most of us give up. The mental barrier feels like a giant wall, so we're going to make the wall so small you can just step over it. The rule is simple. Commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. That's it. Anyone can do anything for 5 minutes. Set a timer. For those 5 minutes, you give it your full attention. No distractions, no excuses. Just you and the task. What you'll often find is that the hardest part was just getting started. Once you're 5 minutes in, you've built a little momentum. The task suddenly feels less intimidating. More often than not, when that timer goes off, you'll find yourself wanting to continue. You've tricked your brain into starting by lowering the barrier to entry to almost zero. This technique breaks the cycle of procrastination by bypassing the initial dread. It's a psychological hack that disarms your brain's resistance and gets the ball rolling. Use this for writing, studying, cleaning, exercising, anything you're putting off. Just 5 minutes. It's your only goal. Our third tool is about making good habits stick for the long term. It's called habit stacking with micro rewards. The idea is to attach a new, difficult habit to an existing one you already do, and then immediately give yourself a small, healthy reward. The reward doesn't have to be big. In fact, it shouldn't be a huge dopamine spiking thing like a candy bar. The most powerful reward is often internal. It's the feeling of accomplishment. Let's say you want to start meditating for 5 minutes every morning. The habit you already have is making your morning coffee, so you stack the new habit onto the old one. The new rule is, after I press the start button on the coffee maker, I will meditate for 5 minutes. Then, once you're done, the micro reward kicks in. It could be taking that first sip of coffee and really savoring it. Or it could be as simple as taking a check mark and physically ticking a box on your habit tracker. That little action of checking a box releases a tiny bit of dopamine. It's a signal to your brain that says, "Job well done." You're creating a feedback loop. Cue, routine, reward. The coffee maker is the cue, meditation is the routine, and the check mark or the first sip of coffee is the reward. By consistently linking effort to these small positive signals, you're not just building a habit, you're programming your brain to enjoy the process of self-improvement. Now, let's see how this works in the real world. Take going to the gym. Many people dread the workout itself. Good. Instead of focusing on the pain, use these tools. You use the 5-minute activation. Just put on your gym clothes and drive there. That's the first step. And focus on the reward after effort rule. The reward isn't the ice cream you eat later. The reward is the post-workout high, that incredible feeling of energy and accomplishment you get after you're done. Your brain will start to crave that feeling, and the workout becomes the necessary path to get there. Or what about studying a complex subject? It can feel like an impossible mountain to climb.
Oh.
Don't try to conquer the whole mountain at once. Use micro-rewards. Break the topic down into tiny, manageable chunks. Your goal isn't to master calculus. Your goal is to understand this one formula. When you figure it out, take a moment, acknowledge it, check it off your list, feel that little win. This creates a chain of small dopamine hits that keeps you engaged and makes the learning process feel rewarding instead of punishing. For deep work, like writing or coding, the environment is key. Before you start, turn off your phone, close all irrelevant tabs. This removes the temptation for easy dopamine. Then, set your 5-minute timer to start. The reward after your deep work session isn't jumping back on social media. It's a short walk outside, or stretching, or listening to one song. You're training your brain to find calm and satisfaction in the absence of cheap stimulation. So let's bring it all together. You can master your mind and overcome your brain's natural resistance to hard work. You don't need more willpower. You need a better strategy. First, remember the reward after effort rule. Always make the work the price of admission for the reward. This teaches your brain to associate effort with pleasure. Second, when you feel stuck, use the 5-minute activation to break through the friction of starting. Lower the barrier so much that you can't say no. And third, use habit stacking with micro-rewards to build lasting habits. Attach new behaviors to old ones, and celebrate the small wins along the way. By understanding and working with your brain's dopamine system instead of against it, you can transform your relationship with hard work. You can go from being a master procrastinator to someone who consistently gets things done. It's not about being perfect. It's about being strategic. Start implementing these tools today, even in a small way. Pick one task you've been avoiding and try the 5-minute rule. Notice how you feel. To truly become unstoppable, pair these dopamine hacks with a solid understanding of why you procrastinate in the first place. You can check out our deep dive guide on procrastination right here to build a complete system for productivity. Thank you for watching. If this helped, give this video a like and subscribe for more tips on mastering your mind. See you in the next one.